I said, are you ready? Let's get ready to suck it!
Welcome back to the League World Order podcast. I'm your host, Dean, aka The Roast, joined as always by the legendary Curtis Woodward, where we mix rugby league, the great game of rugby league, and wrestling. The number one podcast in Australia to do so, I think, Curtis. I think you could say. I think number one, probably in the world, actually. The number one podcast in the world that mixes rugby league and wrestling. Is that fair to say?
I would say it's the best and the only.
Leave out the only. Just
okay.
Stick with the best.
All right.
I think we owe our fans that. We are the best rugby league wrestling podcast in the world, ladies and gentlemen.
Are we turning heel right now?
Oh, we could be.
Is it too early to turn heel?
No, let's continue the face run just for a little bit longer. Let's build up.
Can I say something quickly, Dino?
Yeah.
Like I know you know this because I inboxed you earlier, but I'm going to give a special mention to Jack Clifton from the Red V podcast. I just finished recording with him, and he gave us a mention, League World Order. So I thought I'd reciprocate that and say thank you to Jack Clifton, Red V podcast. If you're a Dragons fan, and he mentioned you, Dean, by name and says he knows you're a Dragons fan.
Nice.
So you guys got a bit in common. And I actually mentioned in that podcast too that before I came to you, I was just spinning the shit one on Facebook and actually said, because Jack's a big wrestling fan, and I actually went to him first and said, what do you think of a wrestling podcast? And it went nowhere for about 6 months. And then I started seeing your posts and stuff, and I'll ask him as well. So mate, he's pretty keen to get on one day and have a chat.
We need to get him on. I would like to. I've mixed with Jack on socials a little bit. I wouldn't say I know him, but I'd be more than keen as a Dragons fan as well, just to shoot the shit with him one day. So Jack, mate, hit me up. If I don't hit you up first, a little bit caught up in the next few days, but. If I remember when I get back, I will hit you up because I you know what, I don't even listen to that many podcasts, but I need to probably stick in and have a listen to a specific team one, and it'd have to be my team, wouldn't it? Like the Red V. So I'll jump in, Jack, and give it a listen. But I would love to have him on here and have a chat as well if he's a wrestling fan.
But... He's a good bloke, and he works really really hard at his trade. And funnily enough, I've known Jack. I think he's 31 now, so I reckon I've known him 10 years, going back to what we used to call New South Wales Cup games, the Steel Sports, and then they went off to another station. He loves his stuff, loves his wrestling, so we'll get back to Jack very soon and get him on.
I can't believe, like, he gets a CEO on that podcast too. Like, how many fan-run podcasts do you see getting the CEO of the club openly speaking about it? And
well, that's exactly what I said to him on the show. I said, you're doing something right, Jack, because he's up to 130 episodes, and there's not many club-based podcasts that have the club supporting them and giving them players and officials to talk to. So it's exactly what I said, actually, Dean, before. So, good stuff. So we'll get him on.
But fans, what we are talking about today, we're going to have a look back at the last couple of weeks of the rugby league world, see what's happening there, with a bit of try celebrations in the rugby league world at the moment. So we're going to talk about some rugby league, some wrestling, celebrations, and see what ones we can incorporate. We've had ones in the past, so see what sort of new ones we could bring in. Plus, Curtis is going to go over origin territories in the wrestling world. The old territory system before sort of Vince came in and took over and created WWF. All the territories before, which I'm not really up to date. I know about it and I appreciate it, but Curtis is going to go over a little bit of that with the Origin tomorrow night and our Suburban Commando review. We've both watched it. What a classic film. I don't understand why this didn't win more Oscars, but we will discuss that at the end. But, mate, last couple of weeks, what's sort of been... what's been the highlight for the last couple of weeks in the rugby league world before we get into wrestling?
Oh, look, I just think personally the quality of the football through this Origin period has been the best it has been for a long time. If you look at even last round gone, the split round, four games, every game was quality. It was good football. And I know your Dragons went down on Sunday, They had their opportunities. Obviously, a few things went against them, which was their own doing through Tarek Sims a couple of times. And
he stays on the field. That's if he doesn't, it pulls his head in and stays on the field. I shouldn't say pull his head in. A couple.
Well, you guys were in the game. You guys
in the game. That changes that, but I'm not saying like we win it, but I'm just saying we make we don't lose by as much. I don't think. Yeah.
And look, it is a bit like the butterfly effect because you don't know what happens after something changes. But
100.
if Sims stays on the field, who knows what happens after that. The other big one, obviously, we're going to talk about Origin, but I don't like agreeing with Paul Kent on Fox 360, but he is so right about this media build-up and the build-up to this Origin and the Origin series in general. Where are the stories in this Origin series? And I'm not going to say where's the hate because hate's a strong word, but where's the media managers for these states? Where's the people pushing the stories to the journalists so we're not getting West Tigers stories who are running dead last? Like as a West Tigers fan, I'm embarrassed that there's so much media attention about a team coming dead last. They shouldn't be getting this media attention at this time of the year.
You get a story every night,
tomorrow. It's crazy.
You get a story every single night on 360.
It's madness. And look, and it comes to that, like West Tigers want to be respected, but at the end of the day, the leaks are coming from the top.
Yeah. It
comes from the top. That's, every single day. So the other quick one, and these are just dot points, the Roosters.
I'll just stick on Origin real quick.
Yeah.
With the media, like, the guys are too nice. Like Billy Slater and Brad Fittler, they don't fire up at anything, really, do they? They might make a little sly remark here and there, but... And I think Billy's playing it safe in his first series. It's his first time coaching. He's obviously nervous when it comes to that media and putting pressure on his players. He's very good at, taking that pressure off the players. But, I think give him if he, it depends on what happens tomorrow night. If you listen to this will be Thursday morning. Origin already over and done with, and New South Wales is lifting the shield. But, give it a couple of years if he stays in there and... you'll see him fire up a little bit, but I think it's just that, Freddie's never really been that guy, that outspoken guy. But you're right, the media guys need to, start leaking not leaking, but just firing up a little story, a little rumours here and there and all that sort of stuff. Even with Tommy Dearden, not, is he going to play? Is he going to play? There was a lot of talk around that, but not, to the point where we're, arguing about it, I suppose. So,
well, if Paul Gallen was playing, if Gallen was still playing, he would have come out today or yesterday and said, Dearden's playing, is he? We're going to knock his head off.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
That would add 50,000 more viewers on Channel 9 tomorrow night.
Yep.
Easy.
Yeah,
right. And I think you're giving Slater a bit too much credit. Like, Slater is a very smart man, apart from the fact that he's probably the greatest fullback of all time. If you see Slater from Origin 1, and I think, again, I don't want to agree with Paul Kent, but... before Origin 1, he said, this is our team. We're not going to play mind games. This is our side, 1-17. That was it. Now it's, we don't know who we're going to pick. And Tom Dearden's going to wear number 6, but we're not going to tell you if he's going to start. I think he's understanding now that there's a little bit more to it, but it's so blasé. I mean, how are we going to get Johnny Oldmate from the hills of Adelaide to watch the game, who's a die-in-the-wool AFL fan to watch it? He's umming and ahhing whether he watches that or MasterChef tomorrow night. Like, just something. Just something. Get these people back to the... Like, it's one thing...
Didn't that story come out with Paul Gallen? You mentioned Paul Gallen. Wasn't he paid, like, money to fire up one of the games? Like, he was paid by either Todd Greenberg or someone to...
No, it was Smith. It was David Smith. It was David Smith, the bank accountant or whatever he was, who became Dave Smith for the footy fans. You're right.
Remember that account, fake Dave Smith? I'll bring him back. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah. But I just don't get it. I like these players. It's too nice.
It is.
It's too nice. It's boring.
Continue on, mate. What else? There was another point that I
guess the other one too is maybe I touched on the Roosters quickly. 7-9. They've lost 4 in a row. They've got the Dragons this weekend. They are
another loss.
Well, funnily enough, Dean, I just on the Red V podcast earlier, I was saying that they are 2 points behind the Dragons. If they lose this weekend to the Dragons directly, and the Raiders lose as well, the Dragons have a 4-point split to the Roosters and the Raiders, and there's no one else in chance of making the finals. So this legitimately, without Ravalawa, with Ben Hunt back, fingers crossed he gets through Origin tomorrow night, the Dragons win this weekend, they'd probably make the finals.
Yeah, look, I tipped them to beat Brisbane because I thought, we might struggle against the Roosters. And who have we got after that? We got another. Is it Manly?
Maybe I had the draw up before, but I don't know.
Manly. So a couple of tough games and right on that 8 too. So I was really wanted to beat Brisbane just to sort of set the tone. That then we could, use that to propel into and win.
Well, I'll ask you, Dean, why would you think you had more chance against Brisbane at Brisbane than the Roosters at Gosford as a Dragons fan?
I wouldn't say we had more of a chance. I was just more I thought we could really win that. I like our record at Suncorp. I think we'd won.
Yeah.
We won 4 in a row or something.
Well, it goes back, way longer than that. We're talking Mark Riddell sideline years ago.
Yeah, we've got a good record there, right? And we sort of aim up, and we tend to lift sometimes for those not the real big teams like Melbourne and Penrith, but those teams that are in the 4th, 5th, and 6th. We normally lift for them, and Broncos up there, big crowd, Sunday Arvo. I just thought it was a mix for us to really put our stamp on it. Missing Hunt as well, that hurt a little bit, and I just thought use that. We would go on and have a run against, if we use that to beat Roosters, then momentum into Manly. Yeah, we're entrenched in the top 6, and that's a finals run. But I still think we can beat the Roosters and Manly. But it was just more of a confidence thing. Like if we beat the Broncos, then we're going into those games with a bit more confidence.
Yeah, look, like I said, I've been saying it all day. I feel I've been talking Dragons all day, but. For St. George Illawarra, to me, it's not just a self-confidence thing. It's not just with fans. I think just the players themselves have bought into the concept that the Dragons aren't what they used to be, so they don't believe what they're supposed to be. I think sometimes if the Dragons lose a close game or they get beaten by 20 points, they go, well, there's always next week where the good teams go, right, we should have won that game. Why didn't we?
Yeah, 100.
And there's always an excuse, but yeah. But look, I've gone through my points. What have you caught up with, mate?
I'm going to disagree. I disagree with one.
Go for it.
With the buy rounds. I fucking hate buy rounds. Right now, your point is right that the quality was good, but the atmosphere, you're waiting around on a Saturday till 7:30.
Yeah, I know.
You're waiting around on 4 o'clock. They're spread over 4 games over 4 nights. It's just boring, right?
Yeah.
You're waiting around forever for something to happen. There's no one really talking about the games. The weekend just feels boring. And then it's the game was good, but then it's over. You got nothing else. People look forward on Super Saturday to those 3 back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Look forward to Sundays like this. One thing I like after the bye round, around Origin, is that we get now 3 nights of football, all 8 games in the 3 nights. So we get 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, the 2 on Friday. So it's I don't know, it's just jam-packed. It feels,
it feels normal. It's a warm blanket. Normal.
But those bye rounds when there's only 4 games over 4 nights, it's just terrible, and they need to do something about it. I don't know what the answer is, because they're getting rid of the Sunday game next year with the international round. So,
but I think the international round or a window, and you could even give it 2 weeks without NRL would be crazy. But I mean, there's an answer in there somewhere where you go fully fledged into international football. You can even have a mid-season transfer window, which rugby league needs. You could fill these spots if you were creative. You could do it.
Yeah,
and it's about content, right? Yep. So. Last Saturday night, West Tigers Parramatta was on 7:30. I was down at one of the local pubs near my joint, and there was 150 people watching the Magpies Parramatta reserve grade game because there was nothing else to watch.
Yeah.
So they still watched it because it's footy.
Footy, yeah.
It's just content. So if they get more creative, we can get around it without the split rounds and actually also help international football as well, because now if we go back to Wednesday nights, we're not going to get mid-season internationals as well, which I think most people love as well. So, yeah, look, as always, it seems like rugby league's shooting itself in the foot and doing the wrong thing, but that's footy, right?
That's it. But yeah, that's really the only thing. You covered off some good points there, and I just I hate the buy around. I hate that feeling of waiting around for football. Give me footy. But
I want to talk something about with you, Dane.
Go, hit me up.
And I'm going to say this went viral, trending number 1 across Australia. You getting hit in the back with a fucking steel chair. What happened? Explain what happened, my man.
Right, so hopefully I have the videos out by the time this podcast comes out. But yeah,
did that hurt?
Well, it didn't tickle. But so I'll set the scene. So for everyone that doesn't know, so back at Magic Round, I bumped into a few wrestlers and just started having a chat with them and found out one of the guys that I helped coach back in the under-18s a few years ago became a wrestler in Newey. So started getting chatting over the internet, over the social media and stuff. And one of the guys piped up and was sort of like calling me out, calling me a loser, all that sort of stuff. So we just went back and forth. Found out they were coming to Parks and to wrestle. And the guy, Jackson Goonery, goes under the name of Scott Green, was fighting for the title against this guy in Parks. And they asked me to jump in the ring and present the belt that they were going to fight for. So I was like, man, this is fulfilling a lifelong dream. Jump in a wrestling ring, have a bit of fun, and see how it goes. Jumped in, presenting the belt, was nervous as fuck because first time I've ever really spoken in front of that many people. And, presenting the belt, and out comes the chief. The rig chief is his name. Comes out, interrupts me. Starts mouthing off. We have a bit of verbal, go back and forth. I end up calling him a bitch. He didn't like that. He didn't like that too much, but he goes, do you know what? Let's call it even. And he put out his hand to shake my hand. The old classic move, puts out the hand, and I'm like, yep, should I do it? The crowd's going, no. I'm like, nah, I'm a good guy. I'll put out my hand. As I put it out, a nice big boot to the gut. I've got a bit of padding. I've got a bit of padding there, but it still fucking hurt. Hits me with a shot to the head. I go down. As I'm recovering, he gets out a steel chair and whacks me over the back. Now,
I felt that.
I'll show you the vision, and if you've ever been hit with a chair, you'll know the feeling. But if you haven't, it fucking hurts, right? I go down. I'm like a bit dazed. Scotty Green comes out, helps me out because otherwise he's probably going to hit me again. And he comes out, makes a save, helps me backstage where I, try and recover the best I can. Later on, main event, he comes out. I come out with him, still hurting a bit. Jump on commentary. Here I am providing commentary at a wrestling event. So was it?
So I was just going to ask because I didn't see this bit, Dean. So I've been to my fair share of local and the good local wrestling shows will actually have their commentary over the crowd.
Yep.
Was your commentary over the crowd?
Yes. Yep. So
cool.
Because it wasn't recorded, right? So it was just providing a little bit of colour.
Yeah.
The best I could. I was still recovering from the back shot, but anyway, he comes out. They're wrestling their match. Great match, 5-star rating match. The old ref ref goes down. As he's down, he pulls out a chair and he's gonna the big rig. He's gonna pulls out a chair and he's gonna hit me mate Scotty Green. So I'm like, nah, this ain't happening. Jump up from the commentary, run in, grab the chair, spin him around, hit him in the gut, over the back. Scotty Green gets him for the pin. Ref comes in. 1, 2, 3. Gets the win. Crowd gets the win.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, mate. That was probably one of the top 5 feelings in my life. Like
I've got tingles just thinking about it. Like to be able to do that.
It was a dream come true, really. Like as a kid watching wrestling growing up, you want to get in the ring. Like when I was talking to him about like, oh, you're going to get in and present this. Present the belt. I was like, man, like this made me want to go and train for 12 months just to have one match.
Yeah.
Because we love it that much, and you don't want to disrespect it by, jumping in like we've talked about guys jumping in for one match and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Didn't want to do that, but I'm like, man, it makes me want to just go dig the heels in and train and become a professional wrestler just for one match because it was that cool. That feeling was just phenomenal, and like they have that every single night, right? Every time they wrestle, so. But it was great. And so I'll put the videos up on the feed. Been waiting to chat. Like I've had these videos for a couple of weeks. been waiting to sort of chat on here about it before I release them. So hopefully the fans love it. And I'll tell you what, if you ever get a chance to jump in the ring, do it. For anyone listening.
Look, yeah, man. And the best part too about a lot of Australian local wrestling, like I'm from Sydney Southwest, so we got a lot of what they called? IWA, Mark Mercedes.
Yep.
Someone was spoken about before. And like local company, like wrestlers like that, they've got day jobs and stuff like that, but they love the wrestling business that much that they get fully trained up, and it's not cheap to go training. Like I had a mate that went to the Minto Dojo, that's what they call it. He got trained by TNT, who apparently wrestled in ECW for 2 minutes back in the day, and it was thousands of dollars. And the work that goes into that is like literally your first month, all you're doing is taking back bumps. And you stand there in the ring and take back bumps. Then you hit the rings and all this stuff. And then like you go to like the Campbelltown Catholic Club or Penshurst or Revesby or whatever, and you watch like this tag team come out, these two big, bald, heel tag team wrestlers, both in like jail suits. And you boo them and it's good fun. And it doesn't matter if there's 50 people or 250 people. And then you see them walking out with their bags in their wrestling gear to get in their car to go home because they have to go to their day job the next day or have to go to the next town. It's the commitment to go into local wrestling just in Australia itself.
Crazy.
And to be able to do it and train and put a show on for the people that go. And I think that's the thing that people miss. And some people look at it and go, oh, it's just local wrestling. Some people still look down on it, but the respect that those wrestlers have just to do it, because it's the same for anyone. Like you look at those podcasts, Jake the Snake and that, when they're down in the dumps 20 years after their prime, they still go out and they say, for those, I only want to connect with one person.
Yep.
That's what wrestling is.
Yep.
So congratulations, Dean. I thought that was awesome, mate. Very, very fucking tough.
Yeah.
Well done. What was that jersey the guy hit you with? What was that? What was it? I assume it was Magpies. Something Magpies?
Yeah, so he came out. So Scotty Green was a former Park Spaceman at my club, and he came out in a Magpies jersey. So that was, just adding a little bit
of rivals,
heat, a little bit of heat. But right at the end, which actually I missed, because Scotty took off his Spaceman jersey, as Riggs laying flat in the ground. I do the old DX
did you?
crutch shot, right?
The crop chop.
Yeah. I was like, what? I want to do that one. Because my mate was G'ing me up. He's like, when you're on the mic, got to ask the crowd, give me, if you're enjoying yourself, give me a hell yeah. And I'm like, yeah, because there'll be one dude, it'll be you. And you stand there going, hell yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm not embarrassing myself. So, but I was like, no, I can do the DX shot. But what I did was I grabbed the jersey and laid it out on top of him.
Nice.
As he was laid out on the ground, which I thought was a nice little touch from me. But nice. I had a chat to him after. We've made up, and I've spoken to him, and he'd actually love to jump on the show one time. So I don't know. Maybe I think we might. Sometimes we can't record every week. Maybe we do some interviews or something. Back them up.
Some snippets. Yeah, let's do some little things.
Drop them in. So I think that'd be good if we can speak to a few guys. But it was IWA Wrestling and. So look them up. They do a bit of travelling around. One of the hardest things is when they go to places like us, a lot of people don't know who they are, right? When they're in Newey, they build up that crowd. They build up like whether they're heel, face, all that sort of stuff. I was talking to them backstage, and the two guys, they actually go out and they respond to the crowd. So they go, we're going to work out who they want to cheer for first. And then they will become the face and heel. So they come out, do the old cheer, real neutral. And then once the fight gets going, it's like if they're cheering for I think the two guys were Cowboy and I can't think of the other guy's name, Ridge, I think. And whoever they were cheering more for Cowboy, so he became the face during the match. So
you've got to do that.
That's so cool. And they've got to get these people that don't really see wrestling that much. They've got to get a response real quick. And they did so well.
That's a weird. I suppose it makes sense though, because like you said, they have to go from town to town, and they don't have local TV or national TV where people know who they are. So that is a really, really cool thing where wrestlers actually have to learn night to night who they are and change their personality and what they're doing every night. That's actually pretty cool. That's.
Well, I think because we were out sort of country, guy comes out in cowboy gear. People are going to resonate a little bit better towards him. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And people, my young girl, she was like, she's 9 years old. She was there. I've never seen her so animated in my life. Right? She was there, go cowboy, and then like getting hit, and she's like, oh, she's like shying away. It's like,
Did you kayfabe your daughter?
Hey,
did you kayfabe your daughter?
did it like you mean? I tell her that what?
Like, did you tell her what was happening?
No. So I told my wife, I was like, I'm not going to tell her what happened. I wanted her to react to it, but then I'm like, I knew what was going to happen. Obviously, like we're not, not playing.
Yeah, but you've got to, but you've got to make your daughter upset for the win later.
Correct, right? So for the show, right? But then I was like, I didn't know how she's going to react. She was fine, but what I did was behind the scenes, I just took a photo and sent a thumbs up and said, "Dad's okay."
Yeah, cool.
And then because the worst thing was, I had to sit backstage and watch it from backstage. I didn't get to go out and experience it as a fan the whole show because he hit me with a chair. I had to sell it. Like there's go back out and sit with the mates going, oh, that's all good. I had to sell
because you'd kill it.
And I was like, it was a tiny down point on it was I didn't get to experience the show, but I'm like, for the experience that I got, doesn't matter.
Nah, amazing, mate. Awesome,
But,
absolutely awesome.
Shout out to the guys. Shout out to IWA Australia. Give them a follow on socials, and if they come to your town, go and support them. A, it helps your town. A, it helps them, and you're going to get more events like it back in town.
And it's good fucking fun.
It is, mate. I've spoke to so many people that have never been to a wrestling show, and they go, "Oh, how cool was that? That was so good." Blah blah blah. So, mate, get into it if you can, mate. At the moment, we've got Try July happening. There's so many celebrations, players getting out, pulling out a whole different range of celebrations in an effort to raise money for charity. So I think each celebration gets about $5,000 towards the Red Cross for the New South Wales Queensland flood appeal and the Tongan recovery appeal as well. So. Shout out, so we had some great ones. So Mulatalo, he went fishing against the Storm. Mahoney did some lawn maintenance against the Tigers. I actually thought that was Josh Alloy's job, but we had Isaiah Papali. He took some great snaps after he. So we've had some really good ones. They were just.
But they're not all wrestling, though, are they?
No, they're not. And we saw last year probably the best one you'll see in the history of celebrations was Braden Hamlin Ueli's The Rock People's Elbow. Because I can't think of who it was. It Jack Williams, whoever he punched, sold it like.
Oh, no, it was perfect.
So
it was
good.
like Ric Flair punching Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania fucking 3.
I saw it in the corner of my eye, and I was like, "Fuck, he's decked him." What's
I
thought
thought the same thing.
I had to rewind it, and I'm like, "Oh no, he's just obviously saw the celebration, like, oh no, it's part of the celebration." I was like, "Man, that is so cool." But yeah, look, there's been a few, and there's been a lot over the last few years, but very rare we get a wrestling one. So we thought, let's have a look at what wrestling celebrations or wrestling things can we bring over and
what did you get?
Challenge some of the guys to
what have you got?
Pull up, mate. I've got a heap.
Go on.
All right, Ric Flair. When he sells his punch, he stumbles a bit
and he falls on his face.
Falls on his face.
Yeah.
I want to say Ric Flair face plant.
Okay.
And I think the person to do it is Nick Kotrick. Rick, right? Rick.
Okay.
Nick Flair.
Right.
Nick Flair face plant. I want to see it. That's who I'm challenging.
That will work.
I've got the Jeff Jarrett strut. We all know the 2 fingers to the side.
And it's a lot more square than Ric Flair's strut.
Correct. Yep. Obviously, yeah, Ric Flair did a great strut, but then at the end, Jeff Jarrett does the whole fingers up.
Yeah, he gets the fingers up. Yeah.
So I think that would sell it a bit more. I want to see someone do the Undertaker's eyes.
Oh shit!
I don't know who could do it, but I'm challenging someone to do the Undertaker's
The cheese
eyes.
after a grand final.
Oh, yeah, after he gets a massage.
2 days into the grand final.
Go straight up the camera and just do the eyes, and we would go wild. The Kane. Speaking of Undertaker and Kane when he gets his fireworks. Now this is a bit elaborate, but you could have Kane there raising his arms and have players around him, and as he pulls down his arms, the players jump up and fall backwards as fireworks.
The fire from the 4 corners.
From the pyro from the corners. Yeah. The Wolf Pack. Obviously. That's us, League World Order. We're the Wolf Pack. When I say players, getting around a try scorer, the fingers, the old pointing to the try scorer. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash pointing, and then even do the Wolf Pack fingers, bang, bang, bang.
I mean, that's easy.
That's easy,
Someone should be doing that. That's $5,000.
$5,000, bang. Going towards, the people affected in Lismore and places that are affected by the floods and the Tongan recovery. So do it. Stone Cold flipping the bird. This is probably highly unlikely.
I doubt it.
The old backwards finger. He could do that. Tyson Frizzell, if he scores a try this July, he needs to do the rock people's elbow, people's eyebrow. Very simple. Go up to the camera, drop an eyebrow, bang, $5,000.
He does look a bit like Rocky as well.
Yep. And Hulk Hogan doing the old wind up, listen to the crowd.
Well,
That's so easy. These are all very easy. No training. You don't need any, weeks of training to get this done. Bang, score a try. Let's whip her out.
I like all of them.
What have you got?
I've written 3, and I don't know why, but you always seem to laugh more at mine than for some reason. I've gone a little bit more in depth, so I've actually related actual current football players or football people in my one. So I'll start with. Do you remember Coco Beware used to come out with
the parrot?
Frankie, yeah, Frankie the parrot, and flap the wings. Bang. I know Peter V'landys is not a player, but Peter V'landys flapping his arms with Abdo the bird on his shoulder.
Yep.
That's more of a shit kick at the NRL.
Are they coming? Is this a press conference? Is this maybe Graham Annesley does it on a Monday briefing?
Let's go to Abdo. It's like, yeah. All right. So the other 2, this is never going to happen because the Melbourne Storm, I don't think, will never miss the 8. But let's just imagine the Melbourne Storm. They're out of contention for the finals. Munster's fallen off the wagon. He's gone missing for 4 days. Can't make the finals. He comes back for the last game of the season. He scores a try, and he does the Sandman. And he jumps into the crowd. He pulls out a beer can and a dart. And he's like got a smoke in his mouth in the crowd. He's punched. Do you remember the Sandman in ECW?
Yeah, banging there.
And he's smanging the bit there. So Munster doing the Sandman. And let's just say the Panthers go that good the last couple of months of the season. They literally beat everyone 60-0 every week, and they go full heel. The grand final, they win 70-0, and after every single try, they just pick a player from the opponent's team for every try to join the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club.
Yep.
So every single try, there's some bloke from the grand final they drag over, and whoever scores, they have to come up and kiss the try scorer's ass.
Yep. I like that.
That's it. That's me.
Yep. That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Good from you. Highly unlikely any of them happen, but I like the thinking.
Yeah, I might have thought about it too much.
One thing I wanted to quickly go, I didn't have this in the thing, but I wanted to go through some of the replies. Some of the fans have been getting in the replies. We have some great suggestions and things. So, one, I posted up a video. It was in the under-19s Origin, I think it was. Old mate picks him up, nearly pile drives him, nearly like a sit-down pile driver.
The old sit-down pile driver.
And I just put up there, by God, with the video, because they even mentioned in the wrestling, in the commentary, what type of wrestling moves that. But Jake Michael Thompson, JM Thompson 95 on Twitter, was it even well executed? They'd both be dropped to NXT for that. So I'd rate that.
That's fair. That's fair.
There was a few more. So Karate Warrior. So me_DC. He's a regular contributor. He's very good in report. Like he'll just tweet something and then just tag us in there. So
he's good.
He's good.
Good.
David Mead in the International Weekend. There's a photo there where he's got him in an ankle lock, and he said David Mead tribute to the Olympic hero Kurt Angle, which I thought was pretty good.
It's true.
We had some good responses to our commentary duos, which you actually won. So we put it up as a vote.
I can't remember that.
Jim Ross and Fatty Vorton.
Did it?
Yeah, it got about 37%. So
I thought Dusty would have won.
Yeah, Dusty. Our Intercontinental champions, which were now Manly, who after beating Melbourne, and SJ Carlisle. He said, you put the Mockers on the Storm this week, and I have no problem in you doing so. I think a lot of people were probably happy that Melbourne got beat there. What else? The Booker Lee.
Yeah.
I think you posted the GIF. I was a bit late to
Yeah.
it. I was in the wrestling ring. I was doing my.
No, I know, but two great minds, right?
Correct. And I actually saw someone else, like, they probably thought we copied them, but if you follow Twitter, like, this is what I hate about Instagram and Facebook. People put stuff out on there and they go, oh, people, copy if you do the same.
No, it's just
go on fucking Twitter. You got about 10 people that have just said the same thing that you've said. So
fuck them.
A lot of people think the same, right? Just get over it. But they did the exact same thing. Booker Lee with five in front of the face, and I did it the next day. But I was just late because I was too busy.
Doesn't matter.
Taking and giving chair shots like a fucking champion. What do we got? Going through it here. Shirley. So Wilbur _learns. He said, in wrestling terms, this is the Tigers against the Warriors when they lost 22-2. In wrestling terms, the Tigers have put over the Warriors to ensure the Kiwi fans are sent home happy. West Tigers equal the Job Squad. And I fucking rate that. I rate that so good.
They're worse than the Job Squad. The West Tigers are the Brooklyn Brawler.
And you put up photo of all the, if you smell what the rugby league's cooking, a lot of
just a couple of old pics.
And it was like someone just said, we all know Hulk Hogan wanted to bring back the biff. Which
I'm pretty sure that was in Paint or PowerPoint.
Everyone loved the Jeff Jarrett on Rove too. That was good.
About that. Yeah, cool.
And I thought this one was pretty good. Again, Karate Warrior. When Brian To'o, he's a legend. I just wanted to apologise to everyone if I've hurt their feelings. And he goes, "This is more like a James Storm. Sorry about your damn luck."
I like it.
That.
James Storm.
Yeah, throwback. And he also, he just comments almost every time. He loves us. We love you, Karate Warrior. How about Clemmer versus Keon in a Henny Penny car park street fight? All right, that's so good.
So Henny Penny. So remind me,
the chicken.
That was a chicken joint, right?
Joint in Newcastle. They sponsored the Knights back in late 80s, early 90s, I think.
So it's almost like, do you remember Booker T in Austin going through a shopping centre?
That's it.
There we go. Henny Penny chicken fight.
That's it.
Done.
And someone replied to him, that's pay-per-view worthy. And it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it. So thanks to everyone that gets in on the socials and sends us stuff. I think I'll do that regularly. Is just give a shout out to everyone that engages there, because that's what we love. That's what keeps the world ticking. But yeah, moving on, mate. Let's get into Origin. Quick tip. You're going to talk about Origin territories, but let's just talk about Origin tomorrow night.
I'm happy to skip territories. I'm happy to skip territories again. I've got a full page here. Let's keep that. Let's skip it. I reckon, because
fair enough.
It goes too deep.
We are getting a bit here too, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going long. So let's just talk Origin for a minute. Is this going on?
Go real tip.
Are we going? Is this going live before Origin or after? Because I know you're a busy motherfucker.
I could get it out tomorrow. We normally go out Thursdays. Look at us. We're discussing when we're actually going to... When you're going to be listening to us and going...
Talking about what we're doing.
Do we put out a preview of what we think?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. So, okay, so you can edit this. If this goes out Thursday, I'm just going to say...
It's going to go out Thursday. Who's
won
the Origin?
Congratulations to Queensland. They were too good. ... Congratulations, New South Wales. They were too good. No, I honestly think
more on the fence, please.
No, look, I think the game will go long. I think the Blues will win, but again, it's frustrating because Fittler continues to just chop and change his side for different reasons. I'm worried about the fact that it's at Suncorp tomorrow night or Wednesday night. The fact that. And I'm more frustrated that we lost game one in Sydney. That was the most important thing. So we lost that. There was a fair chance we're going to win in Perth, but the fact that we have to now go to Brisbane to win the decider, and if we do lose it by a point, we didn't have to get to this point if the Blues picked the right side for game one. That's the frustrating thing.
Yep.
I love Origin. I hate losing, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. There's always next year, but... Yeah, I just feel like if we do lose tomorrow night, as in the Blues, we lost it with our selections in game one.
As soon as the teams were announced, I chucked a pineapple on Queensland 1-12 because I was just it's Suncorp, a decider. Mate, they had the worst. I know it wasn't a decider, but they had the worst team in 2020, and got the job done.
Yeah,
so-called worst team.
Well, Queensland just always get the job done.
They do, and you remember back, what was it, 2017? John Thurston injured in game 2. Who makes their debut? I know it's Cameron Munster, different story to Tom Dearden, but it's a debut in a decider in a very pivotal position. And they get the win. They do it.
1995. The Queensland didn't have any of the Broncos players or the Super League players. The Blues still had a red-hot team without Daly and Stewart and whatever. And Queensland still won. It's not about the talent. It's about how much you believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think Queensland still believe in more than what they're doing. So, look, if it gets the golden point on Wednesday night, I'd be worried as a Blues fan. I think Blues need to win it in the first 20 minutes of the game. Blow them off the field. Again, Josh Adekar's not there. It's frustrating. I understand there's more to the Regan Campbell-Gillard thing. That's a different story. And that might get blown up in the next few months. But Addo-Carr, I can't see how him as a player or as a person doesn't fit into what Fittler's been doing, because Addo-Carr has been New South Wales winger number 5, literally, for like 12 games straight between, I don't know, it's 4 seasons. 4 seasons, he was literally unbroken number 5. So
and
all of a sudden,
11 tries in 12 games.
Yeah.
Like he's second all time for New South Wales in 4 series.
Yeah, I think there's a part of all Blues fans that are always paranoid about all the team selections, and we're waiting for Fittler to die on his sword because he keeps changing the team. And some of them are weird. Some of them, there might be a little bit more to it. But at the end of the day, if the Blues win, then Fittler survives another year. So that's all we care about. But if we do lose, there's going to be a shitstorm in the New South Wales media for the next week.
If Billy Slater had done what Fittler has done to Josh Addo-Carr, New South Wales fans would jump all over. You're not loyal. You're not this. Now, don't get me wrong. Daniel Tupou's a great player and deserves to be in discussions and playing New South Wales.
Yeah.
We're not bagging him. I'm like, the fact that this player has been one of our best in 4 seasons, still playing great football in a team that's fucking in the bottom 4.
And he sells the game.
Yeah.
He's an Indigenous superstar, the fastest man in the game. He's a try-scoring freak. Up until this year, he also helped Victorians watch the game because he's a Melbourne superstar. What's he done wrong to get dropped in the first place?
No, it's crazy. But yeah, look, I'll be cheering New South Wales all the way. But like I said, I just knew by when the team was announced, it's Queensland in Queensland. They were not favourites. I'm like, that's silly. So I just chucked some money on them, hoping, I was hoping to just maybe cash out before the end of the game. They'll be in front, and then we score a late one. But who knows? But no, I'll be cheering on New South Wales. I think they win. I don't think it's that big. I don't think we win big. I think it's, a try, if that. 4 points. So, yeah. But it should be a great game. I'm actually going up for it tomorrow, secretly.
Of course you are.
Yep.
Who's paying you up this time?
Oh, just a couple of friends. I'll leave that for off the podcast.
Mate.
Jet setting it. Mate, I sit in my shed at home making content for years, and I'm finally.
No, now you're reaping the rewards, mate. God bless you.
If anyone wants to live the high life, sit in your shed and make content for fucking 3 years.
Do you remember what your kids' names are?
Kid 1, Kid 2.
Well played.
Love you, Charlie and Frankie. Love you. No. So we're going to finish off with another movie review. This time we are doing one of the greats, Suburban Commando, starring Hulk Hogan and Christopher Lloyd, Shelley Duvall, and I can't think of anyone else. But
did you say the guy from Back to the Future? You said
Christopher Lloyd. Yep. Mark Calloway, The Undertaker.
Oh, sorry, The Undertaker. Yeah, right.
But a bit of an unknown at the time. So this movie came out in the early 90s. I remember growing up watching this fucking constantly. I love this movie growing up.
Really?
But it does not age well. I'll give you the tip. A setting, so I'll set the scene. It starts off with about an alien. An alien, what would you call him? An alien hero. An alien...
I mean, you call him an alien, but it's just... I mean, if I've had this argument with people before. If space is infinite, then there's other humans on other planets. So
Correct, yeah.
he's very much human, but to us, he's from another planet. So I guess what would you call him? You'd call him
if anyone from another planet is an alien, right?
Yeah.
If you're on Earth and someone comes from anywhere outside of Earth, they're alien. Because if you come from another country to here, you're an alien.
Okay,
country,
all right.
Right.
Well, what do you call him? You call him like the Frank Holloway of Water Rats of Space Unit.
He's like a commando. He's a commando, like the name. He's a commando, but he's just from space, right? Just like an army guy, going around running and doing jobs for people. But yeah, it starts off with him in a bit of a conundrum, fighting, trying to save someone, and then blows it up, and then he gets stuck, and he has to go find somewhere to hide out for a few weeks, and it happens to be the closest place is Earth. So this big guy, Hulk Hogan, as you can imagine, stands out in a crowd, has to come to Earth and has to assimilate with Earth while charging his ship so he can go home, but trying to hide out as well. So he can't use any of his technology, all his guns or anything, because anything will set off a little sensor and people will find him. But he lands here and it just shows how he can, basically how he tries to assimilate into human life with some funny, I suppose you could call it in a word if you want to call it funny way of doing things. But I think the opening sort of sets the scene with a theme song sung by has Hulk Hogan in the audio. I don't know if you picked that up. There's like when he actually lands, there's a rap song and there's like little clips of him going. Well, I can't
horrible,
remember what he says, but it's
horrible, Dean.
Horrible. So if that doesn't set the scene for what you're up for, if you haven't tuned out by now, but yeah, it's very.
How many times have you watched? How many times did you watch it as a kid? Because this is the first time I'd ever seen it.
I would say 20.
Fuck.
As a kid. See, so growing up, my parents split up when I was young, and so my time was split. So when I go to Dad would work nights. So basically, I'd go to Video Easy, and you'd get that seven weekly movies for $10.
Yeah.
And almost every time there was two movies. It was one of two movies I used to get. It was like Terminator 2 and Suburban Commando. So I watched Terminator 2 like I end up like
production value a bit different in the two movies.
100%. But yeah, I'd constantly get watch movies over and over because I just had this thing. If I love something, I'd watch.
No, yeah, I agree with
sometimes
you.
You'd hire an overnighter, and I'd watch it 3 times before you take it back. I'd watch it that night, watch it straight back again. Next day, watch it a couple of times before you take it back, just to relive it, I suppose. That was like a lot of people didn't understand it. They're like, how can you do that? You only watch it once. I'm like, nah. Like I see things. I'll watch, watch it 3 or 4 times. You'd see different things each time. But
mate, I've watched Tropic Thunder 3 times in 3 months.
There you go.
I understand what you're talking about.
I saw Top Gun Maverick twice in 2 days.
Okay, well, I haven't seen it yet, so
yeah, mate.
That's still. Well, I thought we were talking about children's comfort and shit like that.
What?
I thought we were talking about comfort as a child. I suppose Tropic Thunder isn't.
No.
Oh, look, I've got to say, Dean, the first opening sequence, I struggle with it.
It looks. Do you know what it looks like? It looks like a porno ripoff of Star Wars.
Yes, and I don't have to mention Star Wars now, but I will go with Shep Ramsey gets onto the ship, and his first line of the movie is, and this is very lazy script writing. So there's 2 henchmen on the elevator, and he punches them out, and he goes going up, and then he jumps into the top of the elevator, and I'm thinking, okay, something else coming. The next line is going down. So another 2 henchmen. That's literally his first 2 lines of the movie, going up and going down. You can't do that. And the other one for me, Dean, and there's a lot of breaks here where I literally did not make notes for a long time. But so the president of whatever planet this was, the evil guy who ends up being General, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yep.
So, yeah. So his hand turns into an alien, gets him in a neck hold, and that's enough for Hogan to go, right, that president's in trouble. He's in a neck hold. I'm going to blow this shit up.
Yep.
And just leaves. Shouldn't you save the president?
Shoot him?
He just
Something
leaves.
should distract him so he drops him?
At least
Quick,
kick
let's
the
escape.
bastard or
Yeah.
something.
No, okay.
I'm
that's
out.
it, one kick. Just kick him once. No, okay, I'm out.
A leg drop? Anything? Hulk up?
Do these
That
ones?
was yeah.
Are they here? Anyone here? But yeah, look, there's the acting and the production value so up here. What I don't get is Christopher Lloyd in this, right? He's coming off. So this is early 90s. He's coming off.
He looks 20 years younger.
He does, but he's from Doc Brown, right?
Yeah.
But he's coming off Back to the Future trilogy. He's coming off Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which was a box office success, right? He's coming off The Addams Family, another box office success, and he's doing this movie that was, I think the budget was 11 million and they made 8 million. Like, it was nothing. Like, what's he doing? How does he fall into? Did he agree to this like a year before, and then all these things have happened? I don't know, but crazy to think that a guy like him of his caliber is making movies with Hulk Hogan.
Well, the other one too is the wife, Shelley Duvall, who is from The Shining, who is the wife of Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Apparently, by that point, from what I understand, was she'd already lost her mind because of Stanley Kubrick absolutely destroyed her making The Shining. Like, she lost her mind because of that movie.
Yeah, okay.
So I was shocked to see her in that movie. I just from memory, I didn't even know she'd done another movie, but she looked good. She looked good.
Hey,
she
when
was
she was in that little black little teddy thing, she looked pretty good.
I'll
say it.
The other thing about this movie was I feel like they had about 35 good ideas for scenes without an actual script or a good bad guy versus good guy movie. So for about an hour in the movie, it's literally like a Hulk Hogan skit show.
Yeah.
Where he goes from one scene to another where he walks into
really add up. Yeah.
No, he just walks down the street and then there's a mime and like he throws him into a roof or he punches him.
The recurring mime thing, I did enjoy. There's a recurring
really
joke in the movie.
I thought, oh my god, it just went forever. It wasn't just that; it was like the fat guy with the dog in the car, and it just went forever.
I mean, in the sense that it didn't add value to the movie, but it was just a recurring thing. It was like, okay, everyone's wanted to punch a mime, right? And so he does it, and then it's like he doesn't get what he's trying to do.
I like that.
The continuation of it, I didn't mind. But yeah, look, I had the same thing. It was like 25, 30 minutes of him just doing random things on Earth just to adjust to life. Even when like the kid comes in and goes, "Hey, Dad, we've got to get to school. We're waiting in the car," and he goes off, drives to school. He goes out the front. 5 minutes later, the kid's there riding on his skateboard, and I'm like, "Hold on, did he just go to school?" And then it's like the other one was when Christopher Lloyd's character Charlie finds a gun under his bed. Shoots it and blows up the car. The next day, the car's
back.
The car's back.
It's the same car.
And I'm just like, dude, come on. Like,
it's fucking holes in the story, man. Look, I thought looking at that movie from the start that Lloyd was supposed to be the nerd that didn't ask for his pay rise, and Hogan was going to teach him how to be stronger, and Lloyd was going to teach the alien Hogan monster warrior how to live Earth life. I thought it was going to be like that kind of 1-2 thing. The other thing that pissed me off as well was, I think it was like 2 or 3 times, he rocked up at a set of lights with the same cars every day, and it looked so like set up.
Where on earth?
It's like they're all like the cars are next to each other.
Where on earth do they have these lights where if you don't make it in time, you've got to reverse? I just don't get it.
Yeah, and he reversed about 25 meters.
So, look, there's plenty of bad things. Look, if you want just a movie...
What's our footy ratings for that?
We'll get onto a bit more. Like, I had some trivia as well.
Go on.
So, originally it was intended for Danny DeVito and Arnie Schwarzenegger. They got twins.
That would have been better.
Because
they would have got more money too.
Correct. They got twins, and so it went to Hulk Hogan. Little for the Ghostbusters fans out there, the homing device he has in his car is actually the PKE meter from Ghostbusters.
Yes,
it was used in that movie. Yep.
Yeah,
you noticed that.
Goes out the sides. Yep.
Undertaker. This was his debut movie, I believe. As one of the henchmen
he didn't have to act very hard.
No, as one of the henchmen that comes down to chase after Hulk. This was actually filmed as his debut, and Vince, I think, from what I read, wanted him to debut, and then they were going to set up a match with Hulk Hogan as like the villain from the movie against Hulk Hogan, like they did with Zeus in No Holds Barred and all that. But the movie tanked, and Undertaker, made his debut before the movie came out anyway. So it and went on to much bigger and better things than that anyway. But one thing I wanted to do before we give our rating as well, if you recast it, now I'm putting you on the spot because I didn't talk to you about this, but if you were to recast this movie, who would you put as Hulk Hogan? I was going to say I would probably put like a Junior Paulo, big guy.
Okay.
Yep. As I thought he could pull off some of those comedic chops as well, a bit better than Hulk. And just as the bounty hunters that come to get him, I'd have Nelson Asafa Solomona and Dominic Young, two big tall guys, obviously towering over Junior Paulo. I'd have them as the bounty hunters. That's but yeah, if I'm throwing you on the spot, if you want, you can throw.
No. Well, if we're talking current players, I can't think of one right now. I could see Paul the Chief Harrigan playing Shep Ramsey.
That's good. Yeah, I don't mind that.
But look, that's a blight on football. That we can't think of a personality player.
It is.
Who's the front row that's a rep football player right now that can play Hulk Hogan in that movie?
You need someone big, right? Maybe Josh.
Well, just anyone that can act better than Hulk Hogan.
Or, yeah, I wouldn't say Josh Papali could probably act better, but
nah, he'll just go shot, bro.
Yeah, I reckon Junior Paulo's got a bit of character about him.
Yeah, he is, and he's a good Ashcroft boy.
Yep,
one of my former clubs, but that's hard, mate.
That's all right.
Hard.
That's on the spot. But look, give it
Josh
a rating.
Maguire.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, just no teeth.
Don't mind that. Yeah.
I don't know.
He could do it, and you got that eye, that squint. You could do something with that.
Can I request a movie before we go? Because I feel like we're talking shit.
Yep. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I just feel like we're wasting time. I feel like we're just at the pub now.
We teed it off at the end here because
I feel like we're just at the pub now, just having a drink.
I'll give you a rating real quick. I'll do before you go on. Go on. I'll give you a rating. I'll go 1.5 footballs out of 5.
So this is
died. If I'd have said what I thought about this before watching it again, since when I watched it as a kid, I'd go almost 3.5.
Okay.
From memory, but then I watch it again. I'm like, man, this is so bad.
Okay, so Wrestling Balls is like wrestling movie rating versus normal movies.
Correct. Yep.
I will give
as a wrestling movie. This wouldn't get a rating.
That's what I was about to say. As a wrestling movie, as a normal movie, I'll give it 0 out of 5.
Yeah.
As a football movie / LWO wrestling movie, I will give it 1.5.
We're on the same. Yep.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. But
hell. What movie should we do next, though, mate?
All right. I've been talking about this for since we started talking about this. I don't even know where to get it, but it looks good. It's called Hell Comes to Frogtown, and Roddy Piper is the main attraction. And I'm just going to say,
spoken about this.
After a worldwide nuclear war where 68% of the male population was wiped out and virile men become a rarity, Sam Hell, a scavenger and a highly virile man, is assigned to rescue... Oh, shit. I've lost it. Is assigned to help rescue a group of fertile women kidnapped by humanoid frogs.
Oh, my God.
Good luck finding that. But to be fair, I Googled the Suburban Commando movie yesterday and it said $6 on Amazon. YouTube had it for free.
Oh, really?
Someone uploaded. Yeah, so there's a tip for everyone. Before you go through your websites and what you've paid for, just check YouTube first because I got it for free and it was perfect.
I don't think I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but go to a website called Yes Movies. YES, as in Daniel Bryan. Yes.
Yes.
Movies. and they get taken down, right, every 6 months or so. So they change whether it's .com, .net, .cn, whatever it is. But if you just look up Yes Movies, you'll find a version of it somewhere. Any movie you can think of is listed there.
Well, I think we're going to...
I almost guarantee that... What was this one?
Hell Comes to Frogtown, Roddy Piper.
Guarantee.
I guarantee this is not going to be on Netflix.
No, I'd almost guarantee you probably can't pay $2.99 on Amazon either to get it or something. But
what have I done?
You'll find it on Yes Movies.
All right. Well, good luck, everyone.
I'll tweet it out.
Yeah. All right. Good luck, everyone. If you can't find it, we might have to change it.
That is a wrap for the show.
Thanks, buddy.
As always, Curtis, mate, it's a pleasure. Thanks to the listeners. Like we said, engage with us on socials. If you've watched Suburban Commando, I feel for you, but let us know what you thought of it. If you happen to watch Hell Comes to Frogtown before we do, let us know if it's do we just need to watch the first 20 minutes to get the gist? Do we need to...
I think I'm just doing it to troll everyone.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, this is the idea of it, though, right? Is to do...
That's it.
Because there's not that many good good movies involving wrestlers. So there are a very few, and we will get to those, but it's more of a piss take this to talk about all the bad ones they've done. So Hell Comes to Frogtown. I'm pumped for this. I'm up for it.
Well, if you find it first, let me know.
I'll find it first, I'll let you know. But as always, enjoy your footy, people. Curtis, it's been a pleasure. And we need a sign off, and I'm thinking like something like 1, 2, 3. That's it. That was bad.
You had too much, mate. You're at the airport. You had too much to drink. Calm down.
See you guys. Thanks.
See you, brother.